Hello, welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Mark Johnson with Fusion Alliance, and we're partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of very insightful interviews around data management and analytics. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Swamy Sriperumbudur, president and co-founder of MapRecruit. Swamy, we left off part two of this discussion with kind of a setup for this part three, which is the HR strategy pivot that organizations are having to make. And, human capital strategy is reshaping itself, and every one of our clients from a consulting perspective, just to try to figure out what that workforce acquisition process needs to be in a marketplace that is now gone globally competitive. So both the talent available in a particular market, maybe Chicago Metro, is no longer just being competed for by the organizations in Chicago Metro. This whole human capital strategy challenge is center stage to an organization's ongoing success, whether it's Delta Airlines or it's Amazon or it's Fusion Alliance or Kroger or Fifth Third Bank or wherever this opportunity is. Can you share with us how MapRecruit is really aligning itself and its value proposition with the emerging human capital management strategy? And maybe can you just even give us one or two of your clients who you can speak about as a case study and point around how your platform has come along to provide automation to enable their strategy?
Oh, thank you. So, first of all, with the pandemic, people have really become globalized. And as you rightly mentioned, Chicago's talent is not just only searching for Chicago area. Everything is global. So the first and foremost important thing, as I was talking in our previous discussion, just to piggyback on that, is organizations have to have an open mind and ready to do a cultural shift in adopting this technology, because people are assets. But if you don't get the right people and don't engage them right away, even though you may have the right people, they may not be with you because you're not engaging them right away. So that is very, very critical to use this technology to do completely thousands of parallel transactions you need to do. I mean, the chat sessions or whatever.
You're exactly correct. You're exactly correct. Continue, please.
So just to give you one example, I'm working with one of the big airlines, as you mentioned about the Delta Airlines. I'm working with one of the international airline company, which is ready to hire their cabin crew, their air hostess, their ground crew. There are like 20,000 people they want to hire. And because it is an airline, they said, you tell me where the person is, I can send my flight to pick them up. Doesn't matter whether they are in Asia or Europe or US. So that means getting the right people in the global footprint is very, very essential. And they are completely open to our platform and they're so excited. So we are really launching. The way how we are doing is we are only defining what kind of jobs you want to fill in. So in this case, you want to fill in a cabin crew. What are the critical areas of the cabin crew you really want to fill in? You identify that, and then you are going into all the job boards across the globe, because they want to have a certain criteria that, English is mandatory, but then they also need to have other languages. Right. So our platform is already equipped to deal with 105 languages. Mm-hmm. So we are able to converse with 105 languages. I don't think any language other than 105 is needed for you to survive in this world, based on our knowledge so far. So we pretty much covered everything. And then you need to really see how quickly we can engage and bring them, because each person is having the job seeker at an advantage to pick whatever the organization they want. So you have to provide the job seeker all the possible channels. I was talking to one of the applicants. He was there and dating with his girlfriend, and it was on a beach. But then he also, mind looking to apply for a job, and suddenly when the chatbot came in, I said, hey, I don't need to speak. I can still on a date, but I can take 10 minutes and then I can do the chat. And then he was focusing on getting the job as a gift to his girlfriend, saying that, hey, I want to be employed by the date is over, and then everything is taken care. So you are doing multiple things at multiple places, and you are focusing at one thing at a time, and you are achieving irrespective of where you are, because we are providing all the channels.
So is your platform delivering a mobile app or a mobilely aware website as that mobile integration point?
So we are making everything very simple. People can do with any of the phone you have. So if you don't have a smartphone, you can just text with us, because every phone, even a flip-flop phone, can also do a texting. You can talk to us via texting. If you have a smartphone, you can directly go to a browser. We don't want any of the additional plugins or anything to be added to you. Just to give you one example, last year, as it is the COVID, everybody started staying home. And this Frito-Lay came in and said, all the chips manufacturing are saying, hey, I have a good problem to have, because my demand has increased, because every person has become couch potato. They are all eating chips. So my supply my demand has increased. Now I have to make it more supply. So I want to hire hundreds or thousands of people per month, but I don't have a volume-based hiring platform available. Right. Within no time, we have put all our configuration in 48 hours, and people started hiring using the entire platform, all the functions. As I said, ours is the end-to-end platform. We are not saying that my platform works best. Okay, if you're not able to hire, I don't know what is the use, because my video platform is good or my chat platform is good. That is not what MapRecruit says. MapRecruit says your problem is hiring 1,000 people per month. Use our platform. We will be there with you, because it is all about the AI and machine learning. We'll make sure that the required talent is being available for you at whatever the time you want, and people are engaging them right away. So that is the power we are giving to the employers as well as the job seekers, so that there is absolutely no friction. That's why we are always focusing on frictionless recruiting with the mantra of changing lives for good.
So as we focus on kind of wrapping our discussion, which has been fascinating in 3 segments, as you look to the future, we're kind of emerging, we're starting to figure, I think 2022 is going to be the year that pretty much everybody gets COVID, and it turns into something more managed as a way of life. So as you look into the future with your crystal ball and where MapRecruit's strategy is focused, what predictions would you throw out there to frame the journey from today, 2022, into 2030, the year 2030, next 8 years?
So I think a great question you have asked, because the HRtech is really rising. If you're not adopting, the companies are going to be doomed. So the people have really understood that. Even from the job seeker, they understood they want to get into a job from the comfort of their couch. They're really not going out of their comfort zone, but they still are looking. So the adoption has to be there. So our prediction is, first of all, the adoption of these tools are going to rise more. And of course, the regulations and the compliances are going to be in place. That is why we need to make sure whatever the technology you are inventing, it has to be within that regulatory and the compliance, because at the end of the day, you are dealing with people. We want to make sure that data privacy and giving the unbiased output is very, very important to the job seeker as well as the organization. And the more important is the transparency. Whatever you do, you have to do with transparency. But then without the speed, it is not going to help. Because as I said in the example, I want to hire 1,000 people per month. If you don't have that speed, it is having a problem. So the speed with accuracy, eliminating human bias, is going to happen. And secondly, right now in the entire recruitment process, we are using all the AI and ML, but we have not still adopted to use the AR and VR, which we are already trying for some of the customers, because depending on different roles which you want to fill in, we want to give that AR and VR option to the job seeker so that they can actually fill in. Okay, if I take this job, what would be my role? They can actually experience that. So that is the definite prediction is going to happen with the AR and VR. And of course, using the Meta and Web 3.0, there will be more virtual interaction. Like, how we are using the Zoom, there will be much virtual interaction is going to happen, so that you almost see a kind of a 3D enabled office space before even you go into the first day of the work, so that you can get to see the feel of how your role is going to be in that particular company, what are the benefits they are going to get it. So it is more and more experience based rather than imagining, right? So that is going to be happening. And then finally, a lot of this consolidation of these fragmented tools which I'm talking about will become more and more, because every person want to focus on one thing, that is single source of truth. If you have a different fragment and you're trying to stitch, you don't know whether which source of truth is there. So that is going to come more efficiently and transparently. So that is what we are predicting.
That's powerful. Well, the final question I'd like to throw out at you, I can also just throw the answer out, but I'll let you answer the question. My wife years ago became a Tupperware consultant, and I had the fortunate opportunity to go with her to a Monday night Tupperware rally, which is where I encountered some of the happiest people in the world, these Tupperware consultants. And the executive who was leading that group, she got on the platform and she asked a question, and everybody answered the question in unison. Who needs Tupperware? And everybody in unison said, only people who eat. And so think about it, like everybody eats. So this is sort of my final question for you. When you think about the business segments that could benefit from the automation to workflow in the recruiting process that MapRecruit brings to the table, are there certain segments that don't benefit, or is it as universally valuable to all as Tupperware is to people who eat?
So I say this platform is going to benefit to two: people who want to recruit, people who want to work.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. And with that statement, I don't know any better way to wrap this series, which has maybe been my most exciting interview to date since we founded the publication. I haven't conducted all of them, but of all the ones I have conducted, I've enjoyed this one maybe the most so far. I don't know if you'll always remain my number one interviewee, but for today, at least, I've enjoyed the conversation. Swamy, thank you so much again for the time. Sriperumbudur is your last name, and you are the co-founder and CEO, or president and co-founder of MapRecruit. For more information about MapRecruit or how folks might be able to trial your platform, is there a website they should go to?
Yeah, first of all, everyone should have a frictionless recruiting. Every person should have an opportunity to choose the job which they want to and how they want to. And that is why we have created this with a frictionless recruiting, changing lives mantra. Please go to www.maprecruit.ai. Very simple, maprecruit.ai. And you have all the information and you can contact us anytime. And we are here to help. And our goal is to see how continuous evaluation will be there in the recruitment process, so that we can have all the recruiters will be smiling at doing their job and building that warmth of these discussions with the hiring managers and the job seeker. And the job seeker also should go and find out not only the job which he's thinking or she's thinking, but right now our platform is also able to help. You are not only good at this, but based on your profile, based on your experience, based on your social posting, you are thinking you are a good salesman, but you are also a good accountant, or you are good in something else. Right. We are actually mentoring using our platform. The technology has taken a leaps and bounds, in an advanced stage where it is telling the human, saying that you're not just good in this, but you are also good in next 2-3 things. You choose where you really want to go to next remaining of your life.
Tremendous value proposition around that ecosystem as you just described. Thanks again for spending time with us. Again, Mark Johnson, editorial board chair here at CDO Magazine and regional vice president of Fusion Alliance. You can learn more about CDO Magazine and find other interviews at cdomagazine.tech, and more about what Fusion does if you have any interest at fusionalliance.com. Thank you again so much, and have a great rest of your day, Swamy.
Thank you so much for having me, and it is so pleasure to be with you.